also audio. Audio is good. Audio is right here. Your voice carries, so.
Yeah, I got a deep voice.
Great, welcome. We're having our Moringa Monday shake.
Hey guys.
Smoothie time.
Smoothie time.
We had put some moringa powder in our smoothies.
Yeah, we have.
Mm.
A lot of bananas, which is great. That's
Tons
delicious.
Mm.
Good job on that.
Almonds.
And then we got some cantaloupe here for show and eat.
Mm.
Cool. So,
Welcome to Florida, brother.
thank you. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be back in Florida.
Mm.
I'm originally grew up in Tampa Bay, so
Yeah.
I know the area. Well, I guess everybody's probably
So
wondering.
who are you?
So who am I?
Jason.
I'm Jason.
How do you pronounce your last name?
I'm Jason Rashidnia.
Rashidnia.
It's really simple. Like when you see it, use your phonetics.
Rashidnia.
Just like you learned in 5th grade.
Where's the name from? Where does it originate from?
So my name is actually made up.
No way.
Yeah, my dad and his 3 or 4 brothers, there's like 12 of them, of family members on his side. They wanted to spite their father, and they changed their last name.
No way.
Just because, like, they were kids, they were young, they always got made fun of with their original last name in school.
Yeah.
And they didn't like their father, so they changed their whole last name, and I was born with this last name.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an epic last name.
It's cool. It sounds awesome, right? Like when you think about it.
In my head, I just say Rishi.
Rishi.
But I love it. Rashidnia.
Mm-hmm.
Rashidnia. It's beautiful, man.
Rashidnia, exactly. So.
But you have a few other pen names, too. Jason Sparkman.
Well, not supposed to know about that. Yeah, but other friends in my previous gig, I would be called. I just came out one day. I was like, I'm marketing Jesus, and everybody was cracking up.
Look at this
So
guy.
it's like,
He's freaking Jesus.
Yeah.
You got him, Robert?
Yeah.
It's Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob behind the camera. Thanks, Uncle Bob.
Yeah, Uncle Bob's crushing it over there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So I used to work at a startup solar company,
Oh, wow.
and we were all getting ready to go out for New Year's. And I came out with my hair down, because we're all just like online marketers, and we have our own online brands and all these things, and I never thought about what I would be or who I would be. And I was just like, you know what, I'm marketing Jesus. And everybody just loved it, so it stuck between that small group of people, right? But I never really pushed it publicly, so I figured if I do that, I'd be in like a white robe with my hair down.
Totally,
all yeah. So
this guy, we always talk about spirituality. I mean, he's always like posting about vibration and energy and sound, and it's just like definitely feeling that vibe, you know?
Yeah,
crystals, man. And
yeah, a couple years.
Just waking up.
Just waking up, yeah. I mean, we're in a new age, man. Like, I hate to say the word new age, but it is true. Like when you follow astrology, we are hitting a whole different existence on this in this universe.
Yeah.
We were in the Pisces age. Now we are in the Aquarius age.
Which you are.
I'm a Pisces.
You're a Pisces.
Yep.
And I'm an Aquarius.
You are an Aquarius, so.
That's why you're so chill, and I'm so like.
Yeah, you gotta have both sides to the equation.
Yeah.
So. Wow.
So you lived in St. Pete. That's where you grew up.
I grew up in St. Pete. I was born in St. Pete.
Wow.
I grew up all over Tampa Bay. Moved around a little bit, but if anybody's from Tampa Bay, I went to Wharton, graduated 08. Up in New Tampa, so I'm not necessarily proud about it, but it's just another school.
Yeah, but you're from here, man.
I'm from here.
You're up in Florida.
Yeah.
Via San Francisco, back in Florida for a few days.
Yep.
Doing some business, having some fun, chilling. Eating some good foods.
Yeah, every time, like, this is the first time here on the farm.
Welcome to Numa Farms.
And I freaking love this place.
At Numa Nursery, it's chilling. Monday morning. What time is it?
My phone's recording, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's about that time. 10:47. 1:13. 13:13.
Is that what it is?
13:13.
13:13.
That's like the divine feminine. You know, we have like this negative connotation to the number 13. But it's really something really beautiful.
Yeah.
The Ethiopic calendar that was in place before the Gregorian calendar had 13 months. Supposedly, Ophiuchus, or the 13th, what do they call it, constellation, is Jesus.
It's Jesus, yeah.
And so they dropped the 13th month when so-called Jesus was born.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little bit of past history. There's texts that's older than the Bible. It's called the Mahabharata, and it's from India. And they talked about Moringa. And in all of the texts, talks about this miracle tree and how it's used in Ayurvedic practicing and herbal remedies. And it actually said in the Mahabharata over 300 cures. I don't know if it's the actual word that they use, cures for common known diseases at the time. Most common diseases at the time.
They were able to help people with that.
Moringa was able to help. And so when I heard that, I started practicing and looking into Ayurveda.
Yeah.
And that's when I started growing Moringa. And so that's why we're here, still growing Moringa, trying to figure out how we can expand this Moringa tree industry.
Yeah, that's actually a big reason why I'm here, is to first understand the operation. What's available to us as a team. Kendrick and I met at a farmer's market 2.5, 3 years ago. Roughly.
Oh, easy, yeah, 3 years ago. I think it was Halloween.
It was
2017.
It was Halloween 2017. I was there with, I don't remember, Alyssa. Alyssa invited me or something.
My boy Casey from school. Shout out to Casey and SACD.
Yeah.
Who else were we with? I think you rode up with those two.
I rolled up with them, but I didn't come with them. I came with somebody else. I think it was Dennis and Kyle. Kyle and Dennis, if you see this, love you guys.
Shout out to Dennis.
You guys.
Shout out to Tanner Rowan.
Tanner, my guy, love that guy. But yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah.
Alyssa, which is the girlfriend of Casey, who you went to school with.
Yeah.
Said, hey, you got to meet this guy.
And just.
I was like, okay.
Boom.
And that was right when I started my internet marketing journey. Going from. So I'll give you guys some backstory. Yeah. Like, I think that's going to be important to understand, like, who I am and what I'm doing. Since I was 18, I've always wanted to own a business. And ultimately, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life and never really worked for anybody. I've worked for people to understand, like, what not to do.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, like, I started my first business at 18. I was selling life insurance with Primerica. And from there, that didn't work out. I was going to college intermittently over this time. And then I started a craft beer and wine bar called Bit Bar.
Oh.
It was in downtown Tampa.
I heard about that place, actually.
If you did, I'd be surprised.
It was like,
honestly.
Like when I first moved to Tampa.
Really?
Yeah.
Bit Bar?
Yeah.
That's surprising, because it didn't stay in business for more than 6 months. But anyways, that was my first experience of creating a business with my hands from nothing. From literally just like, here's an idea, let's put a bunch of computers in a room, let's have people pay for internet time, and then play casino-style games and serve them beer and wine. So there was already some models that worked back then, and that's where like we just kind of replicated that in downtown Tampa. It didn't really work, to be honest.
It was your first experience
with
a partnership.
It was my first experience with a partnership that ultimately fell through. Don't need to get into too much of the details, but it just didn't work out. I missed a lot of money, lost a lot of money, but made a lot of serious lessons. Learned a lot of serious lessons in just understanding how to do business, right? And like, and make sure you find the right people, because like, you can invest lots of time, lots of money, and get to a certain point in business, make money, and everybody's happy. But if you don't have the right people around, like, it won't sustain. It won't sustain. People will get upset. Anyways, like, loyalty, honesty, trust, these are the first things you got to figure out in people before you work with them, really.
So anyways, what's your first telltale sign of, say?
There's just red flags that you can kind of tell if you've already been through it, right?
Yeah.
Just things just don't add up. So words are said, but the reality around
Promises aren't kept.
Promises aren't kept. The reality around it aren't legit. Anyways, so like, if it happens over a long period of time, even when people are disrespectful to each other, like, that can only go so far. Everybody should stand in their own power. Everybody should have their own strength, their own weaknesses, and ultimately, like, we should respect each other to reach that big goal, that North Star in the business.
Yeah.
So I've begun to realize after that experience, pretty much like, let me figure out the thing that works for me. I studied cybersecurity in college. I realized I didn't want to work for the NSA or the CIA, even though I love you guys. You're doing some of the right things. Anyways,
I know you hear me now.
I know you hear me. Anyways, so I switched. My study focus was, I went from that to learning digital marketing. I learned marketing. I was reading marketing books, and it caught my attention early on. I didn't know I was reading marketing books for a while, and I was like, I love this stuff. Then I realized this is marketing. So I took that and I ran. And that's when I got into solar. I got into solar. And I started running ads for solar companies.
Even back in 16, 17, you were...
Yeah.
That's how you first approached me. You were talking about solar even back then.
I was, yeah.
But you made a couple you made a couple roundabouts in different industries to figure out really where you wanted to settle into.
Yeah, because I knew solar in Florida was now achievable because of the net metering laws that changed in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And when I learned those laws changed, I was like, okay, I got to find a solar company to work for. I just reached out to my network, put a Facebook post up, and somebody tagged one of my friends, Pavel. Pavel, if you're listening, love you, bro.
Shout out, Pavel.
Changed my life on that, dude. So he took me under his wing, and I learned some of the game, door knocking, all this kind of stuff. And I learned the numbers. When you learn the numbers in a business, you'll know whether somebody's doing it right or not, right?
Numbers.
Numbers tell all, and ultimately I realized the company that I got recruited for was not providing the best service for their homeowners. So I left, and I discovered another company that flew me over to California.
I remember.
That was Da Vinci. Probably shouldn't have even said their name, but anyways.
About 2 years ago, you went from living here. We started our friendship, started talking about business, hung out a few times, and we actually continued growing our business relationship and friendship as you moved to San Francisco.
Yep.
I mean, we've been in touch at least once a week.
Yeah,
for 2 years.
At least once a week for 2 years.
I mean,
definitely
and
long phone calls too, and just connecting on what do we learn now from where we're at to where we're going, what's the goals, and really setting down a framework to make Numa Nursery a real global brand.
Ooh, man, I'm getting chills.
Right, so
this man right here has inspired me to make these videos, to learn about all these guys that are coming out with marketing strategies, and he's hooked me up with behind the scenes software and platforms with all the high profile marketing gurus that we follow. So I appreciate you for that.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, it's ultimately all the data we ever need to get anything done it's available to us now. So basically it's just what we're doing here is getting you insight into
behind the scenes
what this is.
What is this? This is Moringa Monday.
This is Moringa Mondays. So, again, welcome to Moringa Mondays.
Welcome to Moringa. So why are we so hyped? Right now, I came in, it's Moringa Monday. Why am I so hyped? And I'm ecstatic because this past weekend, we literally just made, I think, about $1,200, $1,300 at the farmer's market. Mm-hmm. We went to the most amount of farmers markets that we could hit in one weekend. We went to 5 farmers markets.
That's a big deal.
So 3 guys,
yep.
5 different farmers markets. Saturday, Uncle Bob was at Lakeland. Saturday, I was at Temple Terrace. Our boy Kevin from Real Sweet Farms, he was at Carrollwood. Sunday, what did we do Sunday? Sunday, Uncle Bob was at Seminole Heights. And yesterday, Sunday, I was at Corey Avenue in St. Pete Beach. And it was just beautiful. I mean, it was just live. People everywhere. There was craft fair shows. All the so-called snowbirds and tourists were back into town from the holidays. Mm-hmm. So it's weird because, in Florida, people will come into town, say, October. October 1st, you see the flood. You see the flood of everybody coming in. Traffic gets more crazy. Everybody's coming in. Stores and restaurants are filling back up in the nighttime. Mm-hmm. It's getting a little bit more live. Happy hour, is getting a little bit more live.
Yeah.
And so, from October to December, it's pretty live. But then we have that holiday season, there at the end of December and early January where it's kind of dead again. It's weird. It's like this little lull. Uncle Bob and I were like, what happened, this weekend? We saw a bunch of people, but maybe they spent all their money. Maybe they spent all their money on everybody else, and we're like trying to figure out how we can get in on that. I mean, you had a really successful Thanksgiving, didn't you? Like a Thanksgiving ad? Didn't you like come out with like an ad for someone? And I mean, I know you work freelance, and you also have clients and things like that. Maybe you're not able to talk about it, but I remember you just mentioning something like you had a really successful Thanksgiving, and you wanted to plan a trip out here.
Yeah. We closed a big client.
That's what it was.
And that's what it was, and just using what we did there, and we're still working on it. Like that's a current year contract with the client, so totally. We got to deliver on that. But that gave the juice to come out here and be able to kind of connect and really like solidify what we're doing with Numa Nursery and see like where needs improvement ultimately, and we're like defining like how do we get here, how do we get to B.
That's where
whatever B is like,
yeah,
how do we get to B.
I was just thinking about the scaling, like how do we go from running ragged Thursday and Friday getting ready for the farmers market, Saturday, Sunday running ragged at the farmers market, and Monday we're behind on our online sales because we haven't been able to fill any orders since Thursday.
Yeah. Yep. And
so what do we have that we wanted to go through about? Did we miss anything, or is there anything that we want to?
No, I mean I just wrote a few notes here just as a reference point, but that's the challenge of being an entrepreneur and growing a startup business in any situation. Like you always feel like you don't have enough hands, there's just not enough time in the day to handle the things that you want, or money, but we try not to make excuses. Like, we're not making excuses here. We're just like, holy shit, there's this many orders I have to get done. There's only so many hours in a day that you can do it. Plus, you have to harvest. Plus, you have to process.
And that's what I have to tell people.
Yeah.
People are calling me, like, after the second day, like, hey, where's my order? And I'm like, hey, Moringa Love. Please, be patient. Like, it's literally just myself and Uncle Bob right now.
Yeah, it's just two people running a business, and there's only so much you can do in a day. So, ultimately, the challenge is how do we get increase in orders, but also decrease in stress so that you can fulfill those orders. Like, that's where you're at.
Okay.
And
so we want to increase orders.
Because we can create a campaign that increases orders with like all the kinds of offers we talked about.
Yeah.
Like 2 for 1s, all these kinds of things. But ultimately, we have to pay for ads to drive traffic to get them to buy. But if you have that increase of volume, how are you going to fulfill without killing yourself?
That's where we're at. And this inspired this whole thing is that we're looking for a fulfillment center in Tampa. Now, there was a gentleman in Clearwater that I mentioned to you that we met last year, and he has a small fulfillment center, and it's a certified organic facility.
That's cool.
But when I asked him about his machinery, he's got the same stuff that we have. And so I'm going to be paying him, whether it's 10 cents a capsule or whatever, when I could also at the same time do that right here. Yeah, I know I get the certified organic on the label, which helps. And also the labor of us not having to do it, but we do have. That's going to cut out on our profits right now, so we have to get more profitable somehow.
Well, certified organic helps you increase your prices.
Yes, that does. You're absolutely right.
You got to work into that.
Well, there's a difference between growing certified organic and also packaging in a certified organic facility.
Yeah, but being real.
But just having
most people don't care.
They might not.
Most people don't even know. Being real, like.
And maybe the certified packaging facility logo label that's going on the label, isn't up front. Maybe it's not allowed to be up front. Maybe it's only allowed to be in the back near the code, near the barcode where it says something where you can't put something in the front because they might get confused with USDA organic. And that's where we get held up in our sales because we do get large companies asking for hundreds of kilos of moringa powder, of the powder right here, which is in the smoothie, which I'm feeling good. How you doing? I
feel great.
This is amazing. I put a little kratom in there too.
Kratom, oh yeah. Gotta have some kratom, guys. the nature's opiate.
This is like the green one, green rau. Gets us talky. This is kind of totally. It just kind of lightens the mood up a little bit. But
good. Yeah.
What I was saying is that this fulfillment center isn't exactly what we need. It's a little too small.
It's too small.
We want to be able to drop our loose leaf off, maybe possibly drop our powder off, possibly drop our capsules off if we had the machine here. But more so, we want to be able to just give them vacuum sealed loose leaf and have them powder it, have them cap it, and have them distribute it when the orders come in.
Right.
Because you mentioned something like, why can't we have the computer on, and when the order comes in, it automatically prints not only the receipt ticket, but also prints the shipping label.
That's what I was saying, is like, if you're stressing out about the actual fulfillment of it, everything can be as much as computerized as possible. When an order hits, ding, print everything out, and it's in front of you right when you get to the desk. Like, okay, now we got to fulfill this, and you go to fulfill it. That's an idea. I know some of the most successful like e-com marketers out there, they have partnerships with fulfillment centers, and that ultimately that's what it is like, so that you can only focus on the marketing, the content pieces, the pushing the ads in front of the right people, and building up the audience, and so like once you have that audience, that list of people that know, like, and trust you, they're gonna buy from you.
We have it.
We have it.
We have a massive audience.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we collected over 100 emails this past week, and this is just one of the sheets. But we collected several hundred several hundred emails and phone numbers, so that way people that are interested in learning more about Moringa don't know. Mostly everybody that does this is like has never heard of Moringa before in their life.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and that's what we're facing. Not as much as we were like 4 years ago. Now when people pass by the farmer's market and they say, oh, we have a tree, or, oh, we have one of your trees from last year, or, oh, my tree's huge. Yeah. You know what I do? Yeah. I say, can we cut it? And they're looking at me like, what? I'm like, can I cut it? Yeah. And they're like, they literally crossed the freaking gauntlet of people that are passing by just to come into my booth, have some tea, and be like, what do you mean cut it? Like, well, every time you cut it, it splits. Yep. Every time you cut it back, it splits. And it's the nature of plant. When I learned that, that blew my mind. Did you know that?
I learned that just from growing cannabis. Sea of green strategy. You split the buds, and the buds come out super long and thick. That I just learned it from that one. I read it in an article.
I was growing cannabis in my closet, not my dorm room closet.
I never grew cannabis, by the way, but I've read a lot about it.
Actually, cannabis is my gateway plant because I started growing it in 2010 in my closet, and I had 8 plants, kind of hydroponic, hybrid soil. Yeah. And I put a room in my room and put the plastic in there and had a bunch of plants, and I learned how to split them out and get the flowers going. Essentially, thank you, cannabis, for bringing Moringa to light, and also my love for plants. And I know that that's what's doing for millions of other people. Not only medicine, but the Moringa, for someone that may not want to take cannabis or use cannabis, maybe it doesn't give them a good feeling, you know, and that's fine. There's also other anti-inflammatory alternatives out there, just as powerful as cannabis, to have also other benefits too, and that's why we're bringing Moringa to the forefront and trying to grow this industry here in Tampa. I mean, even you're like, dude, I got to get to Tampa.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm over there like, dude, I need to get to San Francisco and get Moringa more out there. So it's like, I love the dynamic of you being out there. I feel like with you there and we're on the phone and we're talking FaceTime, that we're like covering the whole ground.
We are.
I feel like our talks are spanning the entire country, and that every time I drop the M-bomb, the Moringa bomb, you know, on the line, on the phone with you, I feel like it's showering Moringa all over. I have that, like, just visual.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I actually don't live too far from some of the biggest competitors in the space.
Yes.
And that's what's beautiful is, like, I know some of their challenges from friends of mine who have bought and sold Moringa as well, but they're not really in the business. They've just done it a little bit. And they would tell me who their suppliers are and how, like, the quality in the marketplace. I don't know if we want to talk about this.
We can. We're going to come out with a video that actually shows our competitors their Moringa straight from their bottle
Yep.
Taste it. Tastes like stevia.
Yep.
Tastes like oregano.
Yep.
It's brown. It's
gross.
Dehydrated.
It's gross.
So like being a grower, so I've taken the past 5 years in experimenting and testing with moringa, starting with the drying process, coming out with this high quality green moringa that you can just taste it vibe and right on your fingertip as you take a little bit of the powder versus some of the other competitors. Like, what's the difference? And I'll tell you what it is.
It's a big difference.
It's local.
It's local.
Yeah. I had people come up to me and bring some of the moringa that they bought from a large department store.
Yep.
And said, look at this.
It's trash.
What is this? They're claiming this is moringa. And we went both back and forth, opened my bag up, and said, that's why it's important to always shop local.
Have to shop local. People don't realize the supply chain. They go and grow pounds and kilos of moringa, and it sits in a warehouse and doesn't do anything, doesn't move. This is fresh right off the ground here, and it just moves a few miles. That's it. It's a huge, vastly huge difference in the quality, because you're in it to help yourself. You're not in it to give money to the big conglomerate to just say, I might be getting healthy. You're getting really healthy. You have a true nutrient-rich, mineral-rich plant that you can get down the street. And you have to add to you're going to end up adding to your whole diet.
Is it a law that quality has to be sacrificed with scale? Like,
no, it's not a law.
I see the story all the time.
It's a misconception, and I think we're better off where people all around the world are growing their own in abundance and sharing it with their communities.
That's what the co-op is.
And that's the whole point of this co-op. That's the whole point of the Moringa Growers Co-op that you've started. Was about 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And we've got how many people? Like, you've got a lot of people.
We've got over 300 people in the Tampa Bay area growing the trees with us, providing us with the greens, but also now, and this is where the patience comes in.
Yeah.
Okay, because some of our partners in the past wanted to force this membership down people's throats. Like, you have to get them to pay $100, or you have to get them to this, and you have to get them to that. And this is the rules of having a co-op.
Okay.
And I didn't like that because I didn't feel like the people themselves made the decision for themselves. Like having a child. Mm-hmm. As a father, you know that you could tell your son exactly what to do, or you could take a little bit of a step back and see his mind working and figuring things out. And then he's like, Daddy, I got it.
Yep.
And you're like, yes. I don't have any children, but I'm looking at all the people that want to grow and that are coming to me for the very first time, going through my own processes of how I felt the first time I realized that I could take something from the tree, I could dry it on this table, and I could consume it in my smoothie every single day. Uncle Bob's been fasting on moringa. Thank you, Uncle Bob. It's not shaking too much. He's had his moringa this morning. That's why he's solid. He took his minerals. He's there. He's like, boom, ready. And that's what we're saying is that how when people realize that on their own, like we just had a guy, he's like, well, Kendrick, if you can't get out here, why don't I just cut it for you? Why don't I just dry it for you? And why don't I just bring it over to you? And I said, thank you, because this is what I'm trying to help people to see, that they have to help themselves.
Yep.
If they want to be in the co-op or in anything, in any organization, they have to also put in that work for us. Like, you may know of Frontier Co-op. You may have heard of Mountain Rose Herbs. They have a co-op. There's several co-ops around the world where you may order from, even on Amazon, or may see them in your local health food stores. And what does it say in the back? Sourced from several farming properties around Asia and India or South America.
Yep.
Essentially, if we had enough certified organic facilities or places that are growing the moringa trees with us, I think that supply chain is even stronger than having the monocrop system that can get wiped out too easily. That's even subsidized.
Probably have to Yeah, it is subsidized.
It's all subsidized anyways.
Yeah, you might have to share like what does monocropping mean for the people out there.
Is just like having like corn, just having hundreds of acres of corn.
Yeah.
It's such a system that is not even profitable. The reason why the cost is so low for fuel and ethanol is because the government pays those farmers.
They subsidize it. And
the co-op system has been shown to be a much more successful, profitable system, and also puts the money back into the local economy.
Right.
And that's what we want to do.
And that's the key, is just understanding the traditional business structure of farming and agriculture over the past 100 years, and where we're at now with technology and what we can do without all the BS, and being able to educate you, a regular person, down the street, grow your own food, and monetize it. And turn it into side income if you really have to.
Pay your taxes.
You can pay your taxes.
Pay your property taxes. That's kind of what I wanted to get into, is paying your property taxes.
Ooh, that's next level.
Off of just the 20 moringa trees that you have growing in your backyard.
Yeah. People lose their house because they have not paid the property taxes, and it's usually like $100, $1,000. Like, you could have made that money with just a few plants in your backyard.
Seriously. Nursery business is really powerful. I mean, we've got plants here that are generating hundreds of dollars of income a month, just sitting here, because they're accruing interest and value by just sitting right here on this table.
With the sun.
This is an aloe that we've been growing here for about 3-4 months. It's doubled and tripled in size. Now, versus a $2 plant, it's a $5 plant. We just potted this up yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's super valuable to be able to just take something that's already, in nature.
Yep.
And create value, And what is that one grant that we're applying for? The added value grant.
Added value grant.
Where you can take a plant, and you can add value to it by making powder, by making it, in a package, presentable. And I think the state of Florida or many other organizations, USDA, are promoting those types of grants for farmers, and that's what we're looking into too as well.
Right. Okay, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of road to cover for all this stuff.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what are the major? Well, a lot of people know the major benefits of moringa, but still, it's still coming up. We see it as the next like bigger than CBD boom, really, because it's food. It's food. And anybody can grow this.
Anybody.
Legally, no problems. There's no regulation against it.
Why hasn't anybody heard of this, supposedly? Some people say 10 years ago, but what was it really?
I look at just the keyword searches when it became sort of like started bumping up the keyword searches online, and it was about like 7-8 years ago when people were starting to Google just moringa, like moringa tree, moringa, and that's when it like started popping up.
That's when I first heard about it.
That's when you started hearing about it. So like now it's bubbling. Like there's a compound effect. When you have enough people learning about something, they're gonna keep seeking it out. They're gonna keep searching for it. If they can't find it, they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it themselves.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's where we want to be able to serve the community of people who care about their health, who want to feel better, be better, and can even make a side income with this. Like, we're turning this into a way that you're not wasting your time. It's almost turnkey, where we give you like the starter kit, the box, all the information's in there on how to grow it, what the benefits are. Get the box, and and pretty much you'll know everything you need to do on how to turn this beautiful green tree into money for yourself.
And it comes with seeds.
Comes with seeds. It comes with everything you need.
It comes with the information.
Yeah. So we feel like this one box, when you put in the focus on like, here's the outcome of what you'll get, which you've described in another video before. It's like how to make $100,000 with moringa.
That's why I'm literally sharing all the money aspect of this whole business.
Yeah.
People in the past have said, Kendrick, you're only about the money. And I said, the money is the most important part, that I can have freedom in this moment to be able to provide more moringa to more people.
Yeah.
I can buy soil. Yeah. I can buy more pots. Yeah. I can become more sustainable. Yeah. More money. Actually, one of my best friends, just a year ago, was like, Kendrick, what's wrong? Like, why are you so sad? And I said, like, I'm having to use all this plastic in all my packaging. And he's like, look, if you can somehow scale your business to become profitable, you can invest or at that moment transfer your business over to a hemp plastic or a biodegradable plastic, but you can't do anything right now. And if you're not going to be able to do anything right now, don't do it half-assed.
Yeah.
So either go all in with it, love the fact that this is all we have right now, push it as hard as you can, even though we do source things like this is a rice paper.
Yeah.
And so this is biodegradable.
Yep.
And so I've done little things like that because I am concerned about the plastics and all of the waste that we're creating. And so that's why also our next venture is mushrooms. We're going to be starting to grow mushrooms.
That was exciting. When I came over, he just told me that. I was really excited because I love mushrooms. And not the magic ones only. I like all the good ones. All the good ones for your brain, chaga,
You just took some, didn't you?
I just took some, yeah.
Yeah, you just took a brain booster with mushrooms in it.
Yeah. Yep, there was mushrooms in it, alpha GPC and all that. So, like, that's key. I mean, there's a mushroom called lion's mane that is the only plant that I know of or mushroom that rebuilds brain cells.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
It looks like a brain.
It looks like a brain, yeah. And it, like the founder or the creator or guy who discovered it won a Nobel Peace Prize for this stuff. I forgot his name, but we'll have to like look that up.
Well, the reason why I brought up mushrooms in this case is because we could cultivate mushrooms that actually help to break down plastics.
That's cool.
On site.
On site. Yeah, the mycelium, it will eat it all up.
We could create some sort of recycling program where people bring their packaging or can return their packaging for all the waste. I know we're not going to be able to do it all, but at the same time, it's a way that I'm thinking of how we can sustainably grow and scale this business at the same time as providing people with high quality moringa. And people are like, Kendrick, why do you love moringa so much? Like, you've been pushing moringa. Everything that you say is about moringa every day is because moringa literally is my main food source.
Yeah.
It has been my main food source for 5 years.
Yeah.
I fasted off of moringa for 30 days alone. Uncle Bob literally doesn't eat anything but avocado sandwiches and moringa. And bananas and smoothies with us and fills up with little things, but mostly all day he's drinking a yerba mate moringa mix with moringa powder in it, stirs it up and drinks literally the whole gallon in a day and is just glowing. I'm telling you, like it just, you can see it radiating and smell from the skin and the body, and just you can just tell that you're getting the minerals. I mean, how do you feel? I mean, you've been taking more moringa the past couple of days than probably ever.
Actually, this is for the past 3 days. This is the first smoothie I had, so it's good. It's great right now. I've been taking that brain juice, but every time I take moringa, every time, and I have my batch sitting at home. I can't wait to go home just to eat some. But every time I take it, like I'm clearing out my bowels. I'm clearing out everything because you're sitting with like 10, 20 pounds of actual shit.
Oh.
In your intestines. So actual shit. You can't even push it out. Like moringa helps you push all that junk out.
It's crazy you said that. A lot of people came in the booth this weekend suffering from constipation.
Yep.
And I can directly relate to them because I suffered from severe constipation, onset Crohn's disease, and IBS for 13 years.
Yeah.
From the time I was 13 years old. I was taking enemas every day, laxatives every day, drinking barley greens every day, in fear of traveling because I know if I went on an airplane or if I went in a car for more than 3 to 6 hours, I wouldn't be going to the bathroom for 3 days. You know, and it was because of the stress of not knowing when the next time I was going to go to the bathroom, and fear that if I ate something, I wasn't going to be able to go number 2. And I was going to throw that food up because I didn't have enough room in my system to eat. And it was so painful. It was so painful.
Yeah.
Just reliving those experiences for years. And sick. Constantly sick. Like mucus. Because the bowels are the center, if you have stuff in there, you're accumulating mucus. I was constantly sick. I was going to school at the time too, and just taking exams and having to work full time and going to school full time. Not eating very, very well at all, not knowing what was the good food, but suffering from this condition behind the scenes, highly malnourished, severely anemic by the time I was 25.
Wow.
And through just a few searches, was able to find a group on Twitter that were suffering from the same kind of issues that I was. And the solution to it was, at the time, I realized, was much more of a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
And that plant-based diet led to higher protein sources.
Right.
The higher protein sources led me to a list of things like quinoa and spirulina and chlorella and moringa. And I heard it a couple times. I never saw it. And I started working as an intern, actually, on this property 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I was working as a nursery hand on this property. And even then, it was a struggle for them, too. Ups and downs in the industry, what to sell, when to sell, having the back stock. There were storms, wiped out a bunch of plants.
Yeah.
So the family was like trying to experiment with different things at the time. And this was in 2013, 2014, right? And they had started growing moringa, but they had too much overhead shade.
Oh, okay.
And so they said, hey, Kendrick, thanks for your day's worth of work. Here's 80 moringa trees. You can have them for the day's worth of work, because they weren't growing. They were trying to make more room for other things. They had them for like maybe 180 days at that point.
Yeah.
And they were like, this isn't really working for us. We have we sold a couple hundred, but we have these 80 left over. Kendrick, why don't you take those for a day's worth of work? And that was the start of the co-op. I started planting, going door to door, knocking on people's doors in the neighborhood, planting moringa trees on other people's yards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that story. I didn't even hear that story.
Yeah.
That's great, dude.
And then since then, 5 years later, I've just been able to get those people calling me back like, hey, Kendrick, the trees are ready. Come and harvest.
Yeah.
Come have lunch and hang out for the afternoon while you harvest.
Yeah.
We'll talk. We'll drink some tea. They tell us some stories. We hadn't seen them in a year, because we will usually go about once or twice a year to each property and visit them. And so now the trees are huge, and they're producing tons of drumsticks. So this is a little experiment that we're doing right now. I actually put some polyurethane on this and preserved it. This is a dried moringa drumstick. Doesn't that look nice?
It does. It looks great.
Wow.
The concept of this is to actually make some art pieces with the drumsticks that can't be used. And actually, he put it in a vase and gave it to me. And I was like, damn, it actually looks good. I'd put that on my desk.
Well, even as a teaching opportunity for universities and schools that may want to order some of these preserved drumsticks, because their classrooms, may call for some more moringa information in the books or something like that. Like maybe at some plant schools, or you never know. And and art. But this is something that we're working on, and really just enjoying this farm life, enjoying that you're here, being able to talk about all these things, helping to lighten the load, because Uncle Bob and I were getting a little overwhelmed with the day-to-day, and we need some help. We do, and that's why we're here too on this live. Everything is going good, Uncle Bob?
We still on?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Cool. We're looking for help. We are.
Yep.
We need some assistance. We're looking for one person.
One person.
Possibly two.
Maybe two for editing? Or what?
Well,
exactly?
I guess we have a few different angles that we need to go after. We have some digital behind-the-scenes guys, your guys at What a Story.
Yep.
They want to help and be a part of the team and help us editing videos.
They do.
We also may just need a person on deck, like maybe someone at USF, that can do an internship with us, that's also a filmographer. Maybe just be able to take that content, send it to our guys at What a Story to be able to do the editing, and then we have a distribution.
That might be ideal.
Working through that. So there's a... Go ahead.
So it sounds like we're going to need a video production tech, somebody at the beginning of their learning process who needs to build a portfolio. This is a perfect portfolio business for you, like at least so you can get something to share with your other prospects, because I know every videographer needs something to say, hey, I shot this video, so like you have a chance to actually not only help the community, but help yourself grow your portfolio. So that's one key.
That's one.
Definitely.
But we need someone here. We need someone that can also help us with the farmers market products. Someone that's wanting to learn about packaging, and how to create a presentable package. I mean, we have the labels, we have the packaging, and we're going straight from the trees, and we're going to teach these people how to dry them,
yep,
how to powder them, how to package them, and also potentially that person can also be cross-trained into going to the farmers market as a representative
yep.
of us and as a farmer.
So it comes down to, we can teach you how to do sales. If you want anything in life, it's learning how to sell.
I'm learning that.
If you want anything in life, it's learning how to close somebody on giving you $1. That's it. If you can close anybody on that, you win.
I get asked all the time, Kendrick, what are you doing at the farmers market? Aren't you an architect? Yes. I'm architecting right now in this very moment. Mm-hmm. I'm building a business.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm building community. When I say that, it just blows their mind that it doesn't actually have to be a physical building. Architects are philosophers and teachers, mm-hmm. and they mold and shape the direction in which society is going.
Correct.
Okay? They don't actually have to have the physical product in front of you to be an architect, or the house to be an architect. Architects work mostly 90% of the time in model space.
Yeah.
In idea space, in creative space. Mm-hmm. And when I tell them that I'm trying to learn how to sell, because if I ever want to sell my house or sell my idea, mm-hmm. I need to become a good salesman. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm in sales school with you.
It's a dirty word. People have this connotation of sales being a dirty word, but sales does not need to be slimy like everybody has that connotation of like a sleazy car salesman. But it's not even like that anymore. I don't have to sell anybody on anything. You have all the information in front of you. Google what Moringa is.
It's so easy to be a salesman.
Right now, it's so easy. You have all the information in front of you. Customers are more informed than anything else. All they want to know is, how much is it, bro?
Seriously.
like you got a deal? Yeah, of course we got a deal.
Have it. We literally just have to have it.
You just have to have it in front of you.
So that's what I've been doing. When people say, what is it good for? What does it do? What does it have? This and that. Yep. Yes, I give them the basics. I tell them it has protein. I tell them it has iron for the blood, protein for energy, iron for the blood, yep. Calcium for the bones, and I give them the basics.
Yep.
Right? But I forgot what I was just...
We were really talking about, what are the benefits of an intern working here at Numa Nursery?
Yeah.
So you're going to learn how to process product from raw form all the way to a presentable retail box, package, whatever the case is, and you'll also learn how to sell it. Ultimately, if I knew how to sell when I was younger, and when I was 16, 17, I would have been way more successful, faster than ever. I'm 29 now, and I wish I learned how to sell when I was younger, because then I'd just be I would speed up my whole life process. That's just what it is.
Wow. I just remembered what I was going to say.
What was that?
I'm not here to tell that person what it's good for.
True.
I'm not here to tell you it can heal or C-word your diabetes or your lupus mm-hmm. or any kind of the ailments that you've been going through, cancer and things like that. I'm not here. I'm not a doctor. Yeah. I can't legally do that. And people are looking at me like, what does it do? What does it do? I'm literally just here as a chalice and facilitator and provider of the product itself. Me standing here alone with Moringa in my hand is literally this is the story. This is how This is what it's good for. Yep. My story itself. I can't necessarily speak for everyone else and what it's done for them, but I know what it's done for me and why I push it and why it's so good. And I want hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kilos to be able to give more away. I'd rather be giving more away to schools and charities and providing it for lunches at some of our some of our local elementary schools and middle schools. Like that's one of the programs that we're trying to start is free moringa
smoothies.
Moringa smoothies for these schools.
If these kids can get free moringa smoothies that's subsidized by whatever, I don't know how the school board gets their money, but they get free moringa smoothies. None of these kids in schools would get sick. None of these schools would have kids coming into the.
Don't make a claim, bro. That's crazy.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. Don't make a claim.
It's true though.
I can't make a claim, but
crazy.
A lot of these kids just aren't getting enough nutrition. They're just not. Their parents are living below poverty level. They don't know anything about nutrition, and so when they're coming to school, they're still being fed junk. You know, it's not real food. It's just. I don't know if you had school lunch. If you remember that. I remember that little rubbery pizza that would come every Friday. It was like the best thing to me at that time.
The cookies.
You know, the cookies, all that crap. Like, I would not eat that right now.
Oh.
I would not, because I know how bad it is. Like, so right now, none of that has actually changed in schools, really. Yeah. And if somebody's changed, I haven't heard about it. So, like, if I haven't heard about it, then I don't think it's changed. So.
Well, that's why we want to provide it. And that's why I'm here literally just to be a provider.
Yeah.
I'm literally just a provider. I want to be able to answer all your questions. There's lots of documents online. You just have to be proactive in your own life, in your own health, and knowing that we have the best local moringa on the entire market. Right here, grown in the Tampa Bay area, fresh. This farm is going to be popping. Right now it's wintertime, so we're prepping the land right now. We're getting the soil built up. And we're sprouting our seedlings right now.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of little seedlings that are popping up, and so that way we can start really hitting this moringa tree industry this year, coming this spring.
It clicked to me while we were talking about it, about the schools distributing like the moringa smoothie. We create a wellness program just for schools, where we give them deep discounted moringa just for the schools. This is our program. And they all, you know, there'll be limits to how much they buy or whatever, but like all details can be figured out. But ultimately, parents want their kids to be healthy and happy. If we put together a program for these schools to provide that for lunch and with a full nutritional palate, like this could be that thing for them. Could be that thing. It's a lot easier to make a smoothie than make those rubbery pizzas, rubbery frozen pizzas.
But people don't have faith that this is protein, that this is going to give them the energy. They need to have that
education process.
It is.
The hardest thing is the education process. And faculty and these people would know that. You know, they know how hard it is to teach a kid something, especially when they go home. Because I used to work in the school system.
Right.
I installed IT. I was doing IT installation for actually Hillsborough County Schools. I was a subcontractor. I would just hear the conversations.
Right.
And I was just like, man, people are just sick. Like, I just hear these conversations. Like,
so sick.
Yeah, there was actually, I'll never forget, there was one chick, and this is a little bit off topic, but it makes relevance because there was one teacher who I was talking to, the librarian at the time. She would always say this one teacher is always in the bathroom complaining about her bowel movements. And then she sees what she eats at lunch. Buffalo Wild Wings and fries every single day, not one green in her life. And this is right when I was starting to learn about like moringa, green plants, nutrition, all these things. And it's just like the teachers don't even know. The teachers don't even know the benefits, the nutritional benefits of these things, like because they're already feeding themselves full of crap. So their insides are full of crap, their brains are full of crap, even if they have master's degrees. I hate to say it, but it's true. Like,
how do you think they got through the master's program? By eating like crap because they had to go to school so much.
Yeah, so we have to break the cycle of crap cycling. That's what I kind of like to call it. Break the crap cycle by shattering the reality of what nutrition is for the world and the body.
That's what we're doing right here.
That's what we're doing right here. So I think that's really key for people to understand is like most of the foods that come into schools or really even the shops. Like you go to a franchise shop, a lot of the nutrients are like burned out of it. It's diluted, you know.
So that comes back to the quality here because some companies are cooking.
Yeah.
Some companies are cooking it to get it like dried faster.
Sure.
and then they're coloring it back to the green color.
Oh, wow.
So it'll be cooked, it'll be brown, and then they're coloring it back to green.
Yeah,
it's still moringa.
I have an issue with that big time. You're not getting nutrients. So if you compare one scoop of this and you just swallow it down with some water, it's going to be 10 times more powerful than you going to get a retail store regular browned junk powder. Like, that's really what it is.
On top of that, a guy came to me, he's like, yo, I just bought this, and it's just full of sticks and stems.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What if they're literally just grinding the entire branch? So say they strip it.
Yeah.
And without stripping the branches off the leaves, they're just throwing that whole thing in the dryer blender.
Yeah. They probably are.
I mean,
that's a shame.
It could be one of the reasons why sometimes people have different effects, because the branches and the sticks have a different medicinal property than the leaves.
Okay.
It's used for different preparations. Mm-hmm. It's like you mix that whole thing together. I mean, you're getting like a confused concoction. It doesn't know what it's doing for the body, because sometimes it wants to flush it out. Sometimes it's actually what do they call that? Helping you to absorb nutrients. Right. and keep nutrients. I think moringa is what's called a flocculant. So what it does is it takes toxins in your body, and it brings them all together from deep in the core, like in the marrow. It'll help pull out heavy metals, and it'll bring it to the surface, and it'll help you eliminate. In that process also too, that's why people are feeling crappy.
Yeah.
Because it's actually detoxing and cleansing, and it's pulling these toxins out of the blood and out of your body. Yep. And that process can be really violent, especially for those that have had chemotherapy, lots of antibiotics, and also most recent vaccinations. Because there's heavy metals and mercury and things like that. But
it's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, whole nother topic. So what do you think? Do you think we've pretty much covered what we need to today and just kind of introduced ourselves and showed out? Man, I really love that you're here.
No, I appreciate you having me. I think we covered a wide range of topics. There's not much to really cover besides, I guess if you guys ever want to reach out to me or anything, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Jason Rashidnia, or email me at hello@jasonrashidnia.com. That's just me.
Thanks,
You'll get directly to me. You'll get directed to me, at least for now.
For now. Because that's what we're working on. We're working on this partnership and how we're building this industry and how we can get it out there more digitally behind the scenes. We're doing that work. You've got amazing softwares that you have access to that he's helping us out with, and just bringing Numa Nursery to the forefront. So.
Yeah, and I definitely want to make Numa the global brand in wellness. One of the global brands in wellness. Like, not just only health, but mental health too. Not like body health, mental health. There's even plans of getting into the beauty industry.
We already are.
Well, which we kind of are already.
We're making cosmetic products out of our oils that we're pressing right here from these seeds that are inside these drumsticks.
Let me talk about this oil. My mom didn't know anything about moringa. I brought the oil to the house, and ever since by day one, she's been clearing out my vials.
What does she use? She
puts the moringa on her face.
Really?
Her hair, her nail, like all this. Just
nails.
Like, literally,
you said it.
Yeah, nails. Like, she just puts it all over her face. So for the first month of doing this, everybody at work is like, "What are you doing? What's your secret?" And she's just like, "It's moringa oil." So it's like, I told my mom, I was like, "This is a beauty oil, and you're getting it fully non-diluted, straight from the seed. So, like, this is pure. Just use a little bit. Like, a little goes a long way."
It does, and you can use it as a carrier oil and mix other oils in it. So use it as a base with other oils.
Exactly, and that's the key. Is like, when you understand, like, the beauty industry, they're using plant-based stuff. They just don't use the same names that we do. They use chemically names, but really we know what they are, what plants they are. It's better to just get it direct from the plant, non-diluted, pure oil. Mix it yourself, and then put it on. You're way better off doing that than any other, like, $500 bottle.
Yeah.
From a beauty salon or whatever the case is. I don't go shop there because I just know the ingredient list.
Same.
Like, I know what. Like, he sent me a big pack, a big jar of moringa oil. I hope it's not gone by the time I get back. My mom probably used it.
We'll send you some more.
We'll send you some more.
We'll send you off back to Cali for more.
Yeah.
With more.
Yeah, so that's going to be funny. But anyways, if you care about your beauty, if you care about your face, your skin and nails, this is one of those. I mean, who doesn't? If you want to stay looking young,
feeling young
is key, right? Like, first it starts with your mental health, but ultimately, this is an anti-inflammatory.
So when you put it on your face and it's absorbing into your skin, on your body, on your joints, wherever it is, it's in your bloodstream. It's in your bloodstream. So whatever you put on your body is in your body within just a few minutes.
Exactly. The dermis is direct to the bloodstream. So
that's good news, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad Mom is happy.
My mom's happy.
My mom got some too.
Yeah.
My dad's like, yo, I need a refill on the capsules.
Yep, that's it.
All our family members are getting hip to it. We have lots of aunts and uncles around that we have in the neighborhood that are just like steady, like capsules. And some people that do smoothies are just like smoothies. And every single one of them has said Moringa has changed their life dramatically, thanking us for being the provider of this locally sourced Moringa, that we're relieving them from the pressures of having to buy it on, say, large companies that are delivering right to their house. Yes, it's convenient. Yes, you can order Moringa for $20 or for 100 capsules, this and that. But where is it coming from? How long has it been sitting on the shelf? Yep. How long ago was it harvested?
Yep.
And also, was the farm that harvested those greens a conventional farm just a year ago?
Right.
So what that means is, because of Moringa's industry growing so fast, you've got people growing tomatoes with chemicals one year saying, okay, let's grow Moringa. The next year, the chemicals are in the ground, and now a lot of these large companies that are sourcing Moringa around the world, they're getting it tested with heavy metals, and they're getting rejected and getting sent back. And so now all the large Moringa companies are scrambling, looking. That's why they're calling me, like, hey, can you get us 100 kilos? Can you come and can you send us a test of your Moringa? And I said, I can, but it's not certified organic. You're not even interested. Click. And I'm more like, can I sell it to all of my people out here that are local and close by that can come right here and pick it up right here from the farmer and meet me and ask me, and also see the tree that was harvested. Watch the videos. You can see some of the videos that we have where some of these trees are beautiful in old neighborhoods, in the backyard, hasn't been touched, no sprays. And it's so healthy, it's so pure.
It's so much more stronger than what you'll get. You can pay for convenience or you can pay for quality. At the end of the day, you got to make a decision. But if you care about your health, quality is number one. And we're not even. It's like we're not even adding that value tax, that premium tax to this thing. If you were to go to a premium line of anything in any situation, I don't know what do I compare it to, but damn, I need a good comparison.
Yeah, a premium.
What's a premium? Let's just say in the beauty industry, or just in the food industry. Like, not to name names, there's a large company that just sells supplements for the past 20 years. They're well known in all the main stores.
Yeah.
But I found out one of their processors, my good friend of mine is in the supplement space too, and he said one of the processors left because they couldn't take seeing wood filler being added to the supplements.
I just said that. Didn't I say sawdust?
Sawdust. So there's one major company that I can't even say the name because,
and it's glucose, which is sugar.
Yeah. But the word on the ingredient list, like, it's not real. It's really
wood pulp.
It's wood pulp, and that's to make it heavier. That's to make the package heavier.
Oh my gosh.
And you're not really getting the medicine. You're not getting the plant-based material that you need for your body to heal. And this particular person left that company because, like, she just couldn't handle seeing it happen and her selling this to the world.
Wow. And
it's a major company. Like, these are big people. And you just don't want to talk about the name because we don't want to get sued.
No.
So anyways, that's why I say there's a difference between convenience and quality. So ultimately, when you find a company that has the solid supply chain, got to talk to the people who run the company, not the figurehead. Got to talk to people who are actually harvesting it or processing it. That's Uncle Bob behind the camera.
Uncle Bob,
actually.
this man right here.
Yeah.
He's harvesting. But also, our number is available, and you can call me. I'm right here. You can call me right now. I mean, it's on silent right now, but and we're working on eventually having these calls coming in and getting the right people to the right time, so that way even myself could have a moment talking to people in person versus always getting inundated with calls and stuff. But
it's a challenge.
Please call us if you have a question, because right now you can get a hold of me.
Yeah, this is the only time probably this year you'll be able to get a hold of Kendrick. After this new year, he's going to be very busy. He's going to be very busy, so he's going to have other people answering. But if you have questions, Kendrick, call the number on the website, numanursery.com. Go to the website, take a look, see what we have right now. But if you have questions, definitely call him. What's the email? It's grow@numanursery.com.
Yep.
Email him at grow@numanursery.com. Go to numanursery.com as well, just to browse around and learn a little bit more about Moringa.
Tons of info on Moringa.
Tons of info. We also have the PDF, the download.
The book, yeah.
It's the Moringa Grower's Guide, right?
Yep.
So there's a guide that you can download and just learn how to grow it yourself.
That's right.
Don't necessarily have to buy the box, but at least learn how to grow it yourself.
Yeah.
And when that interests you, come buy a pack of seeds and we'll ship it out to you.
Yeah. Get the starter kit.
Get the starter kit. Ideally, get the starter kit. Everything's in there for smoothies, for growing, teas, whatever you need.
Capsules.
Oil.
Extract.
All of it.
Spice.
Add it to your life and see what happens in 30 days.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, bro.
I appreciate it, guys.
Dude, this is awesome.
I'm glad everybody's here listening.
Happy Moringa Monday.
Happy Moringa Monday. I love that.
Thank you. Join us next Monday, and we're going to have another guest. And thanks for coming by to Numa Nursery. If you'd like to visit us, please just give me a call, make an appointment. If you'd like to get moringa trees, also visit us at the farmers market on the weekends. We'll post our farmers market schedule. And peace and prosperous growing. Really appreciate you, everybody.
Peace and love, guys.
Peace. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
May health be with you.
May.
Go ahead and hit that.
Be with you.
Thanks, all.
Awesome.
What?
Wow. Let's see.
Dude.
So I hit that button again, but y'all.
Cool.
Dude, that was an hour.